When I walk in, every ancestor move. Every cell in my body got an ancient groove. I ain't searching for truth, I embody the proof. You look at me, you see the lineage. Every obstacle shift when I rise.
Well, hey, family, welcome back to another round of My Patriot Report Live. I am the bridge connecting the next generation to federal contractor. I am Ritwan Hill. And with me, if you don't know by now, you better ask AI or Google. But this is the Ambassador of Peace, Mr. Walter Cotton III. Mr. Cotton, how you doing, man? How was the weekend?
I had a fantastic weekend, man. I got an opportunity to go to a speakeasy in the village that was just par excellence. So I had a great weekend. Saturday is date day for the wife and I, so we had a good experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know she probably enjoyed that. We talked about it last week at earlier. I said, yeah, we're at the peace talk now, and everything is good. It's gonna be sunshine. But you said, nah, is that so? And now we're back at we're probably at a worse point than where we was at before.
I would agree with that. I think that we are in a negative spiral right now. The adage that comes to mind for me here is exit strategy, because the righter you do the wrong thing, the wronger you become. And since we still don't have a articulable reason for being there, for having upset the apple cart, we are now in a need to reorder the chairs on the deck and reestablish the safest possible position for America and its citizens. And unfortunate, that's the "you are here" point we find ourselves at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, now we've been, we're at this "you are here" point right now. We've been sounding the alarm that, that we the people, that we have rights and we could take control of our destiny, essentially. And we've been beating the drum about, sponsoring these two bills, which I'll bring up, which is the Contract Our Veterans Act and the Veteran Member Loan Act. Could you just talk a little bit about why it's so essential for these bills to be passed right now? Now, this is one of the bills, the Contract Our Veterans Act. That's a bill that you and Mr. Elmore have been driving for years. Can you explain why this is important, why this is so significant for everybody right now, and especially the veteran community?
Well, there are two reasons why this action is so significant right now. The first of which is it gives the Congress an opportunity to demonstrate to we the people its willingness to do the people's business. So this exercise that we're going through right now to require Congress, that's the representatives in the House and the representatives in the Senate, to co-sponsor this bill, is an opportunity for them to telegraph, for them to signal to the people that they're willing to do the people's business. And so we're showing that we have an effective Congress. That's the first and most important reason why we're going through this action in the way that we're going through this action. The second reason is because the economy is the foundation of the security of these United States of America. And right now we have a threat to the economic foundation that is promising to put America on a third world nation status if we don't arrest it. There are economic indicators that suggest that we could have the kind of unrest in these United States that potentially leads to civil war, civil unrest. And so right now, what we have to do is we have to arrest the actions that occurred over in Iran that have made America less safe on these shores. And we need to do everything that we can to put the United States of America back on an economic trajectory of safety.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, we've been saying that veterans, if anybody deserves the first right of refusal, it's the veteran population. We deserve the right to make America now safe, make America safe again. Now, for the veterans starting out today, excuse me, let me go back. Now, for the veterans that's like, I'm just trying to get my business off the ground. How does my success help make the country safer? What would you tell to those individuals or those veteran populations?
Well, our country is made up of communities, right? And the health of our communities dictates the health of our country, right? And so if you're a veteran and a veteranpreneur, and you can build a healthy going concern in your community that is employing your fellow Americans, you're doing the optimum thing that you can do to contribute to the economic security of these United States. And in that regard, you understand the needs of your community, right? You understand the product needs, you understand the service needs of your community, and you understand your neighbors, right? And as a patriot, you're not a profiteer, right? You want to make money, right? You want to earn a reasonable living, but you're not looking to gouge your community. So if you take all of those ingredients and attributes and bring them together, right, you, the former serviceman or woman, you, the true patriot, represent the ideal kind of business owner we need to plant, we need to seed throughout this nation. And so if you're sitting on that status, we've already cleared the pathway, right? You don't have to ask for permission to take advantage of this ability. Excuse me, two.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, your legacy is going back 20 plus years of advocacy for the veteran population and veteran community. You've seen a whole bunch of different changes. You've seen the 3% goal go to 5%. So when you're looking at an opportunity right now, does it seem like the golden era for veterans?
It absolutely is. I mean, if you look at what they've already done from a legislative, from a policy perspective, to move veteran and disabled veteran business owners to the least risk status, those are one of the many indicators that I'm pointing to that allow me to suggest that America wants its veterans to be rich. And so if you're sitting in a position where your status allows you to point out at a desired share of what looks to be $1.3 trillion worth of wealth that's moving through the ether and that's being transferred, and compel as much of that as you can handle to come to you, there's no better you are here point or season than now for you to get your feces amalgamated, get up off the couch and go and insulate your family's future, insulate the future generations of your family. And I know we say this often, but this is as real as the nose on my face. The opportunity is now, and we're urging you to take advantage of it.
Yes, sir. Now, we start to see talk about, shortages in fertilizer because the Strait of Hormuz closed, shortage in helium, shortage in chips, just a bunch of shortages. But the economists say, the popular media is saying that America is we're going to be all right. We may feel a temporary pain, but the fact of the matter is we are able to produce a lot of that stuff. What type of opportunity that presents because that everything is pretty much in a contested, well, not pretty much, we're in a contested logistic environment. But the fact of the matter is we have the ability to build everything in America ourselves. What type of opportunity does that present to the individuals who are ready, or the individuals who are looking for an opportunity?
Well, it's a tremendous opportunity, and you have to have a perspective of the geopolitical, the geoeconomic landscape to understand what Mr. Hill is talking about when he suggests that if the rest of the world ultimately gets disrupted by this Strait of Hormuz event, and they're suggesting that it's going to create some tremendous economic disruptions. It's going to disrupt sea lanes for the transport of goods and services. And some countries around the world are going to suffer demonstratively. Fortunately, the island that is America, right, protected by two oceans, has all of the available resources right here within the shores to withstand a global economic calamity. And so, as I said some weeks ago, when people were talking about the destruction of America, I suggested that I double down in betting on American ingenuity. Right, the American people will find a way to take all of these rich assets that we have and create an insulating position for ourselves. The truth of the matter, though, is that him and her who bore the battle are individuals that have a common skill set that has been trained into it by these United States of America. And that skill set taught you leadership, right? It taught you resilience, right? It taught you the ability to adapt and overcome challenges. And the nation gave you a set of benefits and rights that you could use to gain access to the economic equation. And what Mr. Hill and I are only suggesting that you do is you identify what your rights are and you get into this battle. You get in where you fit in, because we need every red-blooded patriot to come to work, man, to join this particular battle, in
Yes,
my
sir.
humble opinion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know we talk about this all the time, and the audience probably thinking, okay, I hear you, Mr. Cotton. Veterans have the legislation, we have the laws on our side. This is a great opportunity for us, but I believe that maybe the audience don't understand the full perspective of the actual opportunity. Because when you look at things like Opportunity Zone, Vet Friend, Hub Zone, that allows them to create a VNRE. All these mechanisms create a rising tide to pretty much stimulate economies, generate generational wealth within families. And this is not something we talk about. This is something that we are actually doing and already have in place. Could you just shed some light on that for the audience about how the art of the possible with the veterans, and how not to think with a limit and how to think boundlessly?
Well, in order for you to enjoy and appreciate the kinds of drawings and art that I produce, you've got to have almost a Salvador Dali-esque perspective, right? You've got to realize that there is no box, right? That nothing constrains the imagination. And so from that point of view or perspective, I start with an understanding of all of the tools, assets, and resources that are at my avail. And as a disabled veteran, I have a number of tools that equip me with the ability to do things that the average citizen can't do. And so if you understand your rights, you understand what tools are at your avail, when you look up at that easel that's a blank canvas that allows you to start sketching out and etching out the art of the possible, you're not constrained by the limitations that someone's 4-year degree gave them. right? And so they can only go down this accounting pathway or this marketing pathway, right? You are an entrepreneur with all of the capabilities and skills, right, that your imagination delivered to you. And you can take those capabilities and skills and you can apply them against a watering hole, which is the largest single customer in North America's budget, the federal government, right? And this is a customer that year in and year out spends on average about $500 billion to keep the mission flowing. And what Mr. Hill and I have identified is that as they're spending that money, they have contracts that are of enormous size, 100 million, 200 million, right? There was a $1.8 billion contract awarded just yesterday to 13 people I want to talk about another day. But you have the opportunity to go in and capture one of those contracts and use that contract to revitalize the economy within your community. But more importantly, you have the ability to utilize that contract to create a generational wealth event within your family. And these are the kinds of strategies that we're encouraging the Patriots to employ as we reshore our manufacturing assets, as we make America safe again.
Yes, sir. Now, as we talk about the opportunity that veterans have, there's also an opposing threat, which is consolidation and bundling. We talked on, I believe, Friday, where we said that Sam Lee posted an article that essentially that from 2025 to 2026, it went from 2 trillion to over 300 trillion in centralization of contracts. Now, you've been sounding alarm way for a while about 42 USC 1986 essentially being making the contracted officers liable for knowingly doing an unlawful order. But could you, before we say that, but I think maybe the audience maybe need an understanding of get a foundational understanding of what does that mean? Like, could you just break it down from the nitty gritty to why that's, why would they be in direct harm for doing illegal orders?
I would love to do that, and I will do that. But while you were speaking, the complexity of the question that you were delivering caused me to think about the answer that I gave to the last question, and whether or not that answer was complete enough, and whether or not it did justice to the question that you asked me, because you talked about opportunity zones, right? You talked about hub zones, right? You talked about economic ecosystems for local communities, and I think I dealt with one area, which was the government contracting area. And the reason that I'm pausing there is because I think that sometimes I am so close to this information that I don't take into consideration that the audience may not have that depth of foundation. And so I would like to give these subjects a little bit more detailed treatment, a little bit more kid glove explanation, but we just don't have time. Right? We just don't have the time to do that in this 30-minute segment. And that's why Mr. Hill has recommended, and I've agreed to do these powwows, which we're going to do the first one this coming Friday, where we are going to be able to lift up the hood of the Opportunity Zone program. We're going to be able to lift up the hood of the advantages that are accruing to you as a disabled veteran, and that will accrue to you as a veteran once this legislation is passed on Friday during our powwow during this exact time frame. So join us Friday for that particular event. To your question, Mr. Hill, and do you mind restating it, because I went off on a little bit of a tangent?
Yes. The question actually slipped my mind. I was so in depth listening to what you were saying. Okay, yeah, for the 11, this was in regards to USC 42/1986. Could you break down in granular detail why that would put the contracting officers in direct harm?
Yeah, because, very simply, the, 42 USC 1986 is a failure to prevent law. And that says that basically, if you had the ability to prevent something and you allowed that thing to go on, right, you are liable for that. And what I'm explaining to our contracting officers is the fact that the $317 trillion worth of consolidation of contracts has opened the door for all of those contractors that were affected by that consolidation to utilize 42 USC 1986 to sue you personally for that behavior. And what that's going to do is it's not going to be a protest that's going to slow up the requirement, but it's going to put you and your family personally in harm's way. And so, what I'm encouraging our contracting officers to do is to not take orders that are coming out of this administration blindly and react to them. Because some of the orders and some of the requirements are putting you in a position to be unwittingly performing illegal actions. And you can utilize 42 USC 1986 as your justification for telling them that you're not going to perform that illegal action. Just like our men and women in uniform have the ability to use Article 19 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice to tell a superior officer, sir, I am not going to commit a war crime. I'm not going to commit an illegal action, and I have the right to do that because it's covered under the settled law of these United States of America.
Yes, sir. Now, my question is, so for the contracting officers who maybe still don't, or 1102s who don't understand, 42 USC 1986 is not a FAR regulation. So for those who still maybe having a disconnect to understanding how does that law ties into them being a contracting officer, how does it intertwine?
Well, for the understanding of that causes you to have to understand my background and the way I see the world, my unique vantage point. And anyone who's listened to me for a period of time will know that my undergraduate is in accounting with a concentration in forensic accounting. And in that particular instance, right, you're usually trying to solve for a crime, and the perpetrators are gone, and all you've got is a few data points, and you have to connect the dots. And so in this particular instance, as I looked out at the acquisition horizon, I'm always doing SWOT analysis because I have to give those kinds of recommendations to my clients. And a SWOT analysis is a strength, weakness, threat, and opportunity analysis. And so as I looked out at what was being asked of the contracting community under Executive Order 14240, the threat of the violation of civil rights jumped off the page to me. And so I investigated that a little bit deeper, and I found my way to that particular statute. And I said to myself, if any of my clients found themselves in a position where a contracting officer took an action that was potentially going to threaten their contract position, I would share in advance. I would telegraph to the contracting officer that he or she was putting herself in harm's way in the hopes that they would reverse that action. I never expected it to get to this $317 trillion magnitude. And that is a real threat to the security of these United States of America. Because in point of fact, if all of those contractors that have been disenfranchised by this consolidation effort decide that they want to cause an action, maybe they want to have a class action lawsuit, right? They are going to almost cripple our contracting community, right?
Mhm. Mm.
So you have to ask yourself the question, was this something that was done intentionally? Was it something that was done happenstance? I mean, was this an accident of, our drunken kung fu warrior leadership, right? Is this an outgrowth of a Peter Principle performance, or, is this something that was done intentionally? I can't answer that question, but what I can tell you unequivocally, without reservation, is that back in February of last year, like Richard Dreyfuss in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I was compelled to get off a luxury liner to come back to these United States for reasons I didn't understand then. I clearly understand now. And one of the actions that I'm performing right now, which is to help America get back on an economic footing where America is highly insulated and highly secure, is the reason why I got off that boat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let's talk about that a little bit, because the fact of the matter is, originally you was helping me because I had trouble with VNRE and they had denied me, and you came back, swooped back in to help me get that back on the rails, which we was able to do from the power of collaboration with the VNRE counselor. But you still trying to figure out why why you had to really come back. Like, that was part of it, but you had that intuition that says something, I need to come back and help. I remember you saying that. You said, I got to come back, and I need to help the pay. It's a lot of stuff going on. And then fast forward to today, shit hit the fan.
I don't want to
Yeah.
try to claim any Nostradamus kind of position. I'm not able to predict the future.
Right.
Although I do claim to be the Wayne Gretzky of GovCon, right? I kind of see the direction of where government contracting is moving because I've got the experience that accommodates that kind of vision or view. But in this particular instance, I see both a opportunity and a need, right? The opportunity is for America to fulfill against the promise that we made to him and her who bore the battle, right? We promised, right, to care for him and her who bore the battle. And this season allows us to demonstrate our commitment to that oath in a way that we haven't before. We know we haven't done it effectively because we still have a veteran suicide rate that is at above 17 per day. So that's still above epidemic levels. The other thing that we have the opportunity to do is we have the opportunity to bring a galvanizing action to this country that is currently being polarized by the executive branch. We have an opportunity to make every red-blooded patriot understand what is more common amongst us as opposed to the stuff that polarizes us, and focus on those things that unite us. And the thing that unites us right now is we, the people of these United States of America, are under attack from both outside forces and domestic forces, and we need to put them all down right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And guys, we've been talking about it, and I just want to share with you how you can contact your Congress and ask them to co-sponsor the veteran member, the Contract on Veterans Act and the Veterans Loan Act. So I just want to share that with the audience. We put together this website that you could go down to, the NY Elite SDVOSB.org /DOW vets, and you could go contact your vets, go down, contact your vets. I mean, contact your Congress.
Congress, yes.
Yes, sir. And once you contact your Congress, you click that button, then you go to where you can enter your address, and then this will bring up your representatives. And then once it pops up, you just write to them and let them know that you would like them to support the two bills, the Contract Our Veterans Act of 2026 and the Veteran Member Business Loan Act.
And let's, if I can jump in here, Mr. Hill, show them what we are looking at, what we're going to be measuring and monitoring. So could you go back to the Contract Our Veteran Act for a quick second? And what we're really looking at is that co-sponsor section there, right? And in that co-sponsor section, what you saw is that right now in the House of Representatives, we have two co-sponsors of that bill. We want the entire House. Right, we want the entire House of Representatives sponsoring that bill. And I'm sorry, this is on the Senate side of the equation because that's the S 3964. So that's the Senate version of the bill. If you go to the related bills tab over there, this is the House version of that same bill. And as you can see, even to date, we have a sparse number of co-sponsors, right? We have about 5 co-sponsors. We want the entire House co-sponsoring or listed as co-sponsors on this bill. Could you go over to the banking bill or the credit union bill? Similar situation, right? On the, is this the House side of the bill? Yep,
Yes,
this
sir.
is the House side of the bill.
Yes.
You have 62 co-sponsors of this bill as of this recording. And on the Senate side of the equation, I think you have an additional 4 co-sponsors. So that's the baseline where we're starting, right? 4 and 62 on the banking bill, and on the Contract Our Veterans bill, we have 2 senators and we have 5 House members. We're going to be monitoring this every day because your effectiveness at reaching out to your congressmen is going to cause them to do something that doesn't cost them anything. Doesn't cost them anything at all to show their commitment to the Patriots. And we're going to use this as our justification for determining who we should support during the midterm election. But in point of fact, folks, this is a no-brainer, right? This is something that should be done anyway. Our veterans, him and her who bore the battle but didn't get hurt like myself, need to be given an opportunity to contribute to the reshoring of our national security industrial base, period.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if you're a veteran or you support veterans and you support this movement, we ask that you go down to, join the SDVOSB, which will change to the Veterans Ability to Command Center, and join the community. Also, join the Elite SDVOB network as well to be part of the movement, and let's make a difference, because the truth of the matter is the power is in our hand.
Could be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And on that note, guys, I am Ratwan Hill, and that is the Mr. Walter Cotton III. We'll catch you tomorrow.